righty.
Okay, I think I'll open kind of how did we end up with Myles Garrett sitting between Sean and ourselves? I think when Sean and I first met for the first time to talk about the offseason, we did discuss how we can add to the defense. That started with the trade with Trent McDuffie, adding Jalen. I think when we get to, in Myles' case, and I'll keep this brief, when Cleveland made the adjustment to his contract, not sure if it was a signal, they made an adjustment. I've got a good relationship with Andrew Berry, thought I'd just check in. Let's check in. Obviously, Myles and his standing with he's a Cleveland Brown. He's on their Mount Rushmore, so they were a no. But Andrew and I have a good relationship. We like talking about football a good bit, so I would pester him a little bit, probably jokingly at first. Kept doing that, and then we began talking a little more seriously about it. We tried to do this with draft compensation. Then the draft came and went. We picked talks back up. We tried to discuss, more draft compensation. At the end of the day, and where it got a little tough for us is they asked for Jared Verse in return. And similar to what Cleveland did at first, we were a no, based on all that Jared's done for our organization. So during May, we kept trying. We tried to work things out, tried to figure out a solution. But as the June 1st date came to, let's call it, as it was getting closer, probably sometime late May there into that weekend, we kind of had a decision to make. We knew where Cleveland stand. They knew where we stood. And then we proceeded to make the trade. And with all of this, I can say, because I know Josh is here, Stan, I do think this, when you make a move like this, having the ecosystem that Stan, Josh, his family provides for us to be able to do something like this out of the box, a little bit as free agency had kind of come and gone. That's always a very positive thing. And at the end of the day, we were able to agree, and we're jacked here.
So much for being brief, Les. No, I'm just kidding. That's coming from me. That's not.
Oh yeah, we'll compare notes.
Here's what I will say though. It's a rare opportunity, and it is challenging because when you look at being able to acquire a player like this, these things don't come up often. And so when you do have a chance, you're saying, hey, can we have the best of both where you're able to get Myles and still keep a player that you love that's been an instrumental part of the last couple years? That was the hardest part of this decision, is parting ways with somebody that we love and care about. Wish him the best in Cleveland, and he's done an amazing job for us each of the last couple years, brought an energy, a production level, a toughness. But the opportunity to be able to get a chance to be able to work alongside Myles, he knows the respect and reverence I've had for his game, just getting to know him over the course of his career and my coaching career. And we feel like he can upgrade our football team. He's going to make a great impact. The important stuff for us was, number one, you have Bubba Ventrone in the building and Kyle Hoke that can speak to what a great teammate he is and where you really see it on a daily basis. One of my favorite things I saw about this guy was, he gets the sack record. It wasn't the fact that he got his 23rd sack. Watch the teammates celebrating and how happy they were around him. That tells me a lot about him. And he is a pain in the ass to game plan against, and I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore. He makes other guys around him better, and I know he's excited to come in and be a big part of this culture, and we can't wait to get to work. But it's an exciting time, while also, there's a part of it where, you wish Jared Verse the best. But we're excited about this guy, and he's why we're here, and look forward to hearing from him.
Hey, Myles, just for the record, Bubba did say you'd play gunner for him.
And I said no.
He did tell him. He did tell me that I owed him at least one game at gunner, so we'll see about that. But very excited. I want to thank you, Sean, Les, the Kroenke family for making this happen. Very excited to be here. It's an honor and a blessing to be in this building. I have a lot of respect for all the guys here, from the coaching staff, management, and many of the players. I've got to see it firsthand, and it's a very quality team, quality business, and I like the way things operate, and I'm looking forward to help pick a championship here at LA.
Yeah. Myles, Jim Hill, KCAL 9 News. First of all, welcome, and Coach, congratulations. Let's talk just a little bit about how you feel coming here, knowing there's going to be a lot that this team is going to depend on because of you.
That they're going to depend on me, or?
A lot of success. A lot of people are going to say, he's got to play well for them to win. When it's a really good team, but they want to try and make sure that they want to know how you feel being a very important part of that team.
That's always been my role since I stepped foot into the NFL. So nothing changes for me. No, I don't feel any pressure to be anything else or be anything different. As long as I'm myself and I come here to work every day and I'm a leader, the success will follow.
Myles, when did you find out about all this, and what was your first thought and reaction?
I found out about a week ago that this was even a possibility, and it was a surprise. It was a bit of excitement. Being in LA, of a lot of roots here, and knowing that there's a winning culture and some great teammates and great coaches here. I was definitely looking forward to the opportunity, and God willing to happen.
Myles had a no trade clause, so I remember asking Andrew after about a month of talking, hey, I know Myles has a no trade clause. Are we going to have gone through all this and he's going to say no? So
Myles, what's the feeling going from a work in progress with this Cleveland team? It's been a work in progress for a while, to coming to this team that is the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and anything less than that would be a major disappointment.
Every team's a work in progress.
Damn, that's how you feel, huh?
Yeah. On paper, I'm sure things look great, but we got to go out there and put the work in. It starts in the field, starts in the classroom, and we're not going to take a single day for granted. We're not going to be looking at any odds or favorites. We're going to win each game day by day.
What is your impression of this defense and specifically the pass rush that you're joining?
It's already very solid all around. We have very talented guys at each position, and that's not just in my room, but getting guys like McDuffie. That was a big acquisition as well. So I think it's very talented, from the top to the bottom.
As a man who added,
can you just take us through your day today and what it's been like since you touched down in LA?
I don't even remember half my day. Hopped on a plane. First thing that happened was I hopped into a truck, went to get some a physical, some testing, and now I'm here. So it's been ripping and running since.
Myles,
Sean, one of the biggest questions that's popped up over the last 24 hours now is the thought of Aaron Donald coming back. Is that a possibility? Have you thought about it?
Listen, if he's interested, there is no. Here's what I would say: you talk to Aaron and you see what he's saying about that. But here's what I would tell you guys overall too: is Aaron's a guy that I stay really close in touch with, and I know the respect that he has for Myles. Talk to him about the opportunity to be able to bring him on board. If Aaron decides he wants to dust him off at the age of 35, I bet you he could still do it at a pretty high clip. But here's what I would tell you guys too. The one thing that's great about Myles, we're not going to ask him to do anything other than be himself and take it a day at a time, be totally and completely present. The last time, you guys remember who the Super Bowl favorites were last season, right? No, you don't. Nobody remembers, okay? So the point I'm making is like, hey, it's a fun narrative right now, but we're going to be inside out. We're going to earn it every single day. We had our first 11 on 11 today, and there's a lot of growth that we need to be able to have as a football team. And we're excited to get him in here, learning the different things that we'll ask of him. But we believe that he can impact the team in a significant way by being himself. And then there's a lot of other guys. It's the greatest team sport that there is. I'm really excited about our team coming together because that's what every single year is about, and that happens one day at a time. We'll finish up this off-season program where it's this week, the following week, and then we'll come back in training camp, and we got to be ready to rock, and then the goal will be to be able to peak when we start in Australia, and then, hopefully stay fortunate to stay healthy and continue to build and adjust and adapt as we go. But it's a long journey. We got to be able to handle it, but most importantly is, the caliber of people. How do we come together? How do we establish what this team really looks like? We are fortunate to have a lot of continuity, and there's excitement being able to add a player like that. But it's one day at a time, and I love everything that he said because I couldn't be more in agreement. And we're not going to let the outside-in narratives affect our ability to be courageous every single day, go swing and see what the hell happens.
Myles, when we talked to you at the beginning of the offseason, you talked about finding the balance between short-term and long-term team building. The moves you've made, Trent McDuffie, Myles, Ty Simpson, how does that kind of play into trying to thread that needle?
You're always threading that needle. But I think once we get to this time of year, this season is looming. It becomes the main thing, the more important thing, what you weigh the most. So, but you're always threading that needle for, sustainability, trying to win consistently. That's a hard one to thread.
Go ahead.
You heard from LeBron, and what kind of advice has he given you through your career to sort of help you navigate?
I mean, I'm not sure, honestly. I've gotten a whole bunch of calls and texts. I've already missed a call from Coach early on. It was just my phone blowing up. But no, he's been a positive force in my life. Just giving advice when he can, as far as transition. Always trying to work through different situations early on in my career. And I'm sure we'll have some more conversations now, being in the same city. So we'll see. But I haven't got to talk to him yet.
Myles, when you look at just having the trust, obviously there's a lot of trust factors, coaches, players, things of that nature. But when you have an agent like Nicole Lynn, who can obviously handle your business for you as far as making sure that things are done correctly, that way you can focus on the field, how much does that help, especially when you're transferring from one city to the other?
Well, it's amazing, knowing that I don't have to really have a large role in that. I know she's going to handle business, handle my business, and have my best interests at heart. I have no lack of trust in her or anyone on my team, so it's a blessing to have her in my corner, and I know she's always going to do right by myself and my family, and she made this possible, as well as Les and Sean.
I will say this for Nicole, wouldn't have been able to get this done without us working pretty tirelessly since the weekend. We didn't have a lot of time to discuss contract, but thank you, Nicole.
Myles, what were your impressions of the Rams from afar, having played against them maybe a couple times and just watching over the years what they've been able to build here? What were your impressions of this organization?
I mean, just talented. They love playing the game. I mean, they love playing the game for this guy, and that means a lot. Having a player's coach lead you onto that field, and wanting to give the extra effort and go the extra mile for him and for each other. That's kind of what you feel going onto that field. These guys are going to war. Not just as individuals, but as a team, and that's how you end up playing those games later into the year.
Myles, you talked about so much about Cleveland and what that city meant to you, but having a no-trade clause in this past week, what was it in your heart and soul that says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this change from a franchise that loved you and a city that loved you to come here?
Well, I mean, since the very beginning, it's always been about winning, and it just breaks down to the timing of everything. What does it realistically look like for to be a winner now, and to have a opportunity to do that immediately. That was an opportunity that was just too difficult to pass up. And I always have love in my heart for Cleveland City, community, all its players, and everything else. But the opportunity to come here, have a immediate and profound impact on this team, it was something I just had to move forward with.
To follow up on that, was it an easy? Did you have to sleep on it, or did you say yes?
No, definitely had to sleep on it. I don't take my time in Cleveland for granted. I did love being there. My family had become really a part of the community. You definitely had started to plant roots, had a home, and just becoming friends with all the people in your neighborhood, and getting to know people, and getting out, and just feeling like this is your second home. This stuff like that. It tears at you to leave and to break away, but that's just a part of the things you learn and have to adjust to as you grow up and learn you have to move on.
How much did you have to sort of mentally shift gears, leaving a team and coming to a city that's hosting the Super Bowl, 7 primetime games for the Rams? Like, mentally, how exciting is that for you?
I mean, games are, no matter what time they are, they're still just the same old game. So I'm not worried whether they're played at 1 o'clock on Sunday or Thursday night or Sunday night. It makes no difference to me. We still got to suit up and be who we're supposed to be.
Sean, did you about just how difficult it was to part with Jared? Ultimately, what made you believe this was the right move?
Yeah, I think number one, you really let the tape guide, and to be able to, it's hard when you to be able to get something great. Unfortunately, we had to give up something great, and not going to pretend to have all the answers. But when you do look at the body of work, what you envision in terms of the fit and how that can help the other 10 guys around, and what are the different types of things that he elicits attention-wise? Where are some opportunities that we can free him up, or that he can offer opportunities for other guys to get the man side of the protection, or to be able to do some of those different types of things. But it was really the tape, and ultimately sometimes we have to be able to make decisions that are best for the collective, and this is what we thought was best for our team, even though it affected somebody that's been a significant part in a negative way that we do love. But it was really, it was a football decision, and that's kind of what guides our overall approach and our compass, if you will. But the first thing in the prerequisite was, this is a special human. It's not a special player. Yes, it's a special player, obviously, but it's a special person, special teammate. And those are the kind of things that we look at first and foremost, and being able to welcome him with open arms. We're excited to have him be a huge part of this culture.
Did you have a conversation with Jared before the trade?
I did. Yep.
What did you tell him?
What would you guess I told him? Hey, well, we talked to him about just the appreciation, the gratitude, Sarah, and I think when you have to have those hard conversations, you just let him know. We just executed a trade where we're acquiring Myles Garrett, and you're going to Cleveland. And I know it doesn't feel great right now, but there's a lot of love, there's a lot of appreciation and gratitude for our relationship, the 2 years, the impact that you've made, and I can't wait to watch you go shine in Cleveland. But I will say this, what a stud with the way that he handled it. I don't want to say I was surprised, but I was so impressed. And, when Jordan and Christian eventually go through a challenging conversation, I hope they handle it the way that Jared Verse did. And I'm a big fan of his. You guys know that. And I'll wish him the best and watch him do his thing. But we are really excited, with respect to Jared, about being able to get this guy. And it's a big deal for us.
Myles, did you have a conversation with Buda Ford to get number 95 over there? And can you share maybe what that transaction was like to get that number?
It was just a conversation, and it didn't take too much.
Conversation and a couple bucks?
Maybe more than a couple, but he was open to it, and I understood that there had been some other numbered trades before me, so I based my decision off of that. But he understood, and I'm glad to be sticking with 95.
Sean, what were your days like?
Is there any no snowboarding clause in your contract? And either way, with such great snow,
I don't think I have the balance to snowboard anyway, even if there wasn't. But yeah, there is.
What were your days like leading up to this? Obviously, it's been going on, phone calls back and forth. Were you just that euphoria, excited, like when you get a guy like Myles?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing when you're doing that is you're going through what are the exact parameters. You knew you had an opportunity to be able to execute it. But like we said, there was certain things that we had to kind of get finalized with Andrew and Cleveland to be able to figure out exactly what it gets done with, as far as what the execution and the agreement terms would be. But we were excited, and now it's about being able to get to work. I think this is all fun, and it's obviously, a big deal, and our players are really excited to be able to welcome Myles, and now I know he's just like me, where we're excited to get to work and figure out how we can, be able to do, some cool stuff together.
Yeah, Steve.
Okay, Myles, I got to a quick follow-up to this one. First off, what about just playing on an offense that can get you leads, playing with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, where you're going to be facing a lot of known passing situations together?
I mean, that did play into the decision as well. Knowing I have the ability, late game to pin my ears back, not just because we need a play to be made, but because we have the lead, and it's obvious passing downs, being able to make those game-changing plays to win the game for us. Those are things that appeal to me. I'm sure appeal to all of us as D linemen. So that is something I really look forward to.
And second one, just how quickly you're going to get on the field? Do you think you'll pick up at OTAs or wait till training camp to get going?
We just have to wait and see.
Hey, Sean, what was the reaction from the team when you explained it was going to go down?
Yeah, respectful to a teammate that they love, and excited to be able to add a really special player. I know, all of our guys, we're fans of this game too. So there's a respect, there's an appreciation for the body of work, how he's gone about it, what he's done. So there's a lot of excitement, and then there was a lot of honest feelings for Jared. So, but guys were excited to be able to get him here and get to work. So guys are fired up.
All right, we're going to do Lizzie, Ted, and Stu. We'll be done.
Just for Les and Sean, with all the work you guys did put in to get this trade to the finish line, when Cleveland did finally say yes, what was your reaction?
I mean, I think what the reaction was. Okay, finality. That was probably Sunday. We needed to get through Monday. We knew there was going to be some tough conversations, and then you just go execute the trade from there. But it had been finality would be finally would be the word.
There was a lot of discussions about it. I think you guys know me. I'm not the most patient person. So until it became a reality, I think it still is, to be able to add players like this, it's so rare for opportunities that present themselves. And we feel really fortunate that this feels very similar when we were fortunate enough to be able to acquire a player like Matthew Stafford. Things like this don't present themselves, and we wanted to be aggressive and ask him to be nothing more than Myles Garrett and just continue to improve and come in here. But it was a long wait until it was actually official, and there was things that we had to kind of be able to get figured out in terms of what we were going to give, like we talked about. But we're excited that we are here now, and you guys know we're ready to get to work.
Myles, first of all, welcome. Tell us more detail about your connections to LA, and just the fact that you're part of the LA sports culture now. You may not be aware there was a fearsome foursome 1,000 years ago with the pass rush all the way to Aaron Donald, and how much you want to be a part of that history.
Yeah, I'm definitely recall watching film with the fearsome foursome. Deacon Jones. Grew up watching that in high school. Once I started really watching and playing the game, and so I'm definitely very aware. As far as my ties to the city, my dad's from LA, so that's an obvious tie. But Chloe, her being from here and us being in the same city is obviously something that I love and appreciate. And everything else, it's really just looking forward to the future. Looking to plant my own roots and see what comes of this. And we'll see how long LBJ is around here. I'm not sure what his future looks like, but if he wants to stay around for a couple more years, I know they'll accept him with open arms. But there's only so long he can play.
Last one, Stu.
Myles, you talked about this franchise's legacy of pass rushers a little bit just now. What excites you most about the opportunity to contribute and add your own chapter to that legacy as an accomplished pass rusher in your own right?
I see a position to solidify myself here as well. Among the very greats. I still have plenty of great years in front of me, and being able to cement that legacy as not only as a football city here in LA, but as an individual, winning DPOY and a Super Bowl or more. Those things are definitely pressing on my mind, and I have definitely a bit of urgency to do it and do it right away.
That's good.
All right.
Sorry about that. Get a picture real quick.
Good job, man.
Did we get some? Just mine. Just mine.
Yeah, get us
Good?
Does it fit?
All right, thanks, guys.